Welcome, Mahesh, and firstly, thanks a lot for joining us here. And I know your flight is there at 8:30, so yes, we will not hold you what is really, really essential to
Sure,
hold you
sure.
here today, right? So I'll straight away jump into this. Topic is basically on account aggregation, right? But if I just set a bit of a context, it is the very large financial digital ecosystem which infrastructure which is created. And it is after Aadhaar and UPI that I think it is one of the biggest ambition project
Yes.
which is taken up, right? And with any large ecosystem, the real question is actually how quickly this vision will translate into the everyday usefulness for citizens and financial advisors. So I'll just come to the practical side. I'm just assuming that people are aware of account aggregator as such as a concept, where every citizen is having a right to get the information from financial institutes and can be shared with anyone else. So that is known as a financial information user, like people like advisors like us or a person who has to give loan to you. So account aggregator is like an UPI for financial information system. Where the money flows, here it is the information which is flowing. But then, to realize the full potential of this account aggregator system, what has to happen is that there should be use cases which are to be enabled. So right now, what we see is there are still some limitations which are there. So examples of limitations are limited access to the joint account types, or credit card data is not available, or credit reports are not available. Insurance data also is not consistently available. And then bank accounts, also some of them are not available, right? Most of the banks are actually connected. So with this gap, so I'm talking about primarily from financial advisors' point of view. So financial advisors like us have to then do a lot of manual data collection, which will actually reduce the efficiency gains of what that account aggregator system was meant to deliver. So my first question with this context is, how do you see this evolution of the ecosystem over the next few years?
See, so like if you see in the last 2 years, for example, I mean, the account aggregator ecosystem has actually come a long way. Now, if you want to, the only way to know how well it is doing today is to see the current impact. Obviously, today, lending is a very big use case. And as of 4 months ago, every month the amount of the loans which were being disbursed was 25,000 crores every month.
Every month.
Every month. So obviously it is working. Okay, but as like you'll see that every quarter it is actually getting better. Like if you ask 4 years ago, were the actually bank FIPs, the data quality, was it good? The answer was not, it was not all that good, but it has improved a lot. Okay, and as they improved their infrastructure, the usage has gone up also. Okay, and currently, all FIPs are actually providing the service for free. But at least we brought in, what we call the fair use. Because it was free and there was no limit, everybody was, you're pulling the data very often, and now that has been actually brought in control. Now, about the things which are not there, see, example, joint accounts. So when we actually did a survey with all the top banks, anywhere from 80 to 95% of the bank accounts are actually singly held. Okay, so even for me, it was something new to hear. So in the phase one, when the singly held accounts have gone live, you would agree, the majority of the users were able to actually, make use of it. Now, the actually challenge in the joint account was how will the consent be taken? Because if it is a joint account amongst us, is it only me or only you or the two of us?
Correct.
All of that. And I've heard that all the banks have been informed actually by the regulator that they have to take the joint accounts live. I don't have the specifics with me yet, but just this morning we were informed, the banks have been informed by the regulator, so we'll see how that goes. And about the, I think you asked about in the insurance companies. I think it happened 15, 20 days ago. The largest insurance company, LIC, has gone live.
LIC?
LIC has gone live. But so it's a huge effort. I would say we worked over it for 4 or 5 years to actually get them on live. So yeah, all I can say in everything what we work, you have to show patience. Harsh has been actually on our governing council for a long time. We have to show patience, and you have to keep working, and you should not give up. So that way, I would say the data types which came in AA in phase 1, it was sufficient for all of you to actually start providing your services. And it is only when the use cases actually went live and the usage went up, it is then the FIU said we need more kinds of data, or in the existing FIU types, example, the bank's statement, we don't need the master account number. So as the usage increases, we all learn, okay, what more is required. But as of now, I think there is enough data for all of you to provide service. Some few challenges are there, and in my opinion, it will get fixed.
Got it. So just for my friends' reference, FIP is financial information provider like banks, and FIU is financial information users, as a person who is sharing the information, maybe a RIA or anyone who is using the information, right? So when he is talking about FIU and the use cases to be more known to the people, is basically the RIA's use cases or a wealth manager use cases or a person who is lending, those use cases he is talking about. So I have a follow-up question on this, that again from the financial advisor perspective,
sure,
that even if we get the data from these various providers, the next challenge which is faced is that in account aggregator, we don't have all the relevant schemas, right? So again, schema, if you are not aware, is basically, in a simple terms, a format of data. That right now, if suppose you are getting on NSDL, you will get the total value of your investments in various securities. But if you want to know the purchase price of each, that information is not there in the database, right? So that's the one typical, basically the constraint which is failed.
So, see, actually, if you see KFIN and CAMS, they have the data, actually the purchase, price. So I'm not sure why in the initial days when they created the schema, it was not included. So in my opinion, in the coming whatever quarters, in my opinion, it will come. But it has to be approved by the regulator. Anything, like if you had to make a change in actually this schema, so, we will have to approach SEBI, okay, then they will inform Reserve Bank of India, then Reserve Bank of India will inform Revit.
Yeah, so
okay.
We were chatting
yes.
Earlier, so
okay.
You have also given about the contact person also about the SEBI, in the
exactly.
SEBI, right?
So but in the case of the depositories, the actual purchase price is, with NSE and BSE. So now we have to think on how that information, can be married, with what is in the depository. I think that, that information is only with the brokers and the exchanges. So it will be a challenge, in my opinion, to get that a price.
So basically something for us to take up in advocacy and basically take it forward.
Sure, yeah.
To,
it'll help us.
With the SEBI, yes. Okay, so I'll shift gears now for another subtopic in this, which is about Digital Personal Data Protection Act.
Yes.
Right, DP Act. So again, for my friends know-how, DP Act is up and running since last year, 2025. And we as RIAs have some commitments based on that act, which is coming by November 2025, that is, which has already gone by. We were supposed to be aware of the policy and have some necessary infrastructure in place to see that how it will be delivered, or whatever is the requirement which is there in the DPDP Act has to be done. Right? But there was no such commitment. By November 2026, that is this year, there will be a commitment of actually either integrating or having RBI approved consent manager tie-up, right? Because we as a regulated entity are required to maintain and comply to the DPDP Act. Basically, the privacy of the data which is being given to you, shared by the user to you, you should be able to prove that he has given you consent to use it, right? And with that context, I just wanted to know about how this AA framework and DPDP regime, they are evolving, and whether AA will help us in any way to share the data, or will these two systems exist in parallel? So just to give us a bit of a brief high-level context, and then maybe you can
see the
tell
fundamentals of the AA, which actually came in 2016. It was about when somebody is going to ask for your data, they had to declare the purpose, okay, and for what period of time it will be used, which we call the data life. So all these actually things were part of the consent. Now the DPDP came after the AA was defined, and all the same principles are actually there in DPDP. So according to us, even after the DPDP rules came and the law came, we saw that there's no need to change anything in the account aggregator framework. Now it becomes very important for any entity which is providing a service and acquiring the data from the customer, okay, to take actually their consent. So account aggregator, in our opinion, is actually the right solution for you, because it's already 4-5 years old. It is working well. It is completely aligned with the DPDP Act, and it is integrated with all the regulated entities. So you have something which is actually blessed by your own regulator, and I would say that it is the right solution which each of you should integrate with it as soon as possible.
Great. So as RIAs, what we always see is, from the compliance perspective, what is really mandatory to do, right? So DPDP Act looks like something mandatory to do, and AA looks like something optional for me. Yeah. Am I right in my conclusion?
No, AA is optional, but as the time goes, the customers who come to you will insist that you are on AA. So the example I actually give to everybody is, now for a bank, for them to offer UPI is not mandatory. It is optional. But because of the customers have actually demanded that, because if you are with a bank which is not having internet banking, the mobile banking, and especially if they won't have UPI, I think you will see they will move. So it is a matter of time which the same behavior you will see among the customers, who will insist that, it will be important for you to attract, example, the Gen Zs or all of them who will want to ensure that whoever they work with, whether an NBFC or a bank, insurance company, they want to share their data only using an account aggregator. So according to me, it is not optional, and even before the traction of A increases like UPI, it would be good if all of you have already implemented it and actually get familiar with it.
Basically, it's kind of a layer of trust that your data is being accessed with the consent.
With the consent.
And whenever you are not having the consent, it will be deleted.
No, it won't be deleted.
Because you are never having the access to it.
So information is with you, as an RIA. So I'm not sure about what your regulations are from SEBI for how long you need to retain the data.
5 years.
Okay, 5 years. So even when you get my information from it, and if it says the life is 1 year, you can keep the data for 5 years, but after 1 year, you cannot use the data.
Okay.
But you can have the data because you have to report to your regulator for 5 years.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So I wanted to just talk about the next phase, how you visualize and what are the major milestones. And also I'll club this with a question on which are the most, which are the sectors which you find where the most growth you see, because you're at the hem of the things. Correct. Which are the sectors which are growing fast?
So the milestones, I would say, which we all are working on, I think it'll go live soon, is actually the joint accounts. Okay, then we are working extremely closely actually with the Provident Fund, EPFO. Okay. And I heard that it is actually going well, and hopefully in about a quarter or two, it will be part of AA, because it is. I think if you ask your clients, about how much they have the money, we don't usually. The answer is no. So I think it will help. So actually, the joint accounts and the EPFO is a very big thing. We have been working on actually getting the income tax returns, but okay. I think it will take time. It's not very easy because I heard the act that has to be changed. So it is a very long actually thing. The use cases which will take off. Obviously the two use cases which are very popular, is lending and your wealth management, your personal finance, so management app, which shows you your actually balance sheet, your individual balance sheet. So we all talk about actually a corporate balance sheet. I think we do need a way to see our own like actually balance sheet or the family's actually balance sheet. So in that area, a lot of work still has to be done. And the one after that, which you will see, which will take off, starting now, it will take at least 2 years, is in the insurance sector. In the last 1 year, it has improved. Okay, because the insurance provider wants to see how much is your income, etc., how much you're able to pay, and all that assessment, especially for the life insurance. So you have, I think, in the insurance and in the personal finance or the financial planning, we see it will grow a lot.
I mean, I really, because I am also tracking this, I was part of the pilot earlier in the account aggregator framework, and I really feel that financial planning can be very holistically and can be enabled digitally to get the whole data from the client, right? So that's the vision with which I have always been very inspired by knowing about account aggregator, and I want to get this.
So the problem is actually the people, they don't think they need a planner, because everybody thinks that they know on their own where to invest.
So that problem you leave to us.
No, but I hope they come to you.
Once the client have agreed to come to us.
No, see, if they know they have a problem, okay, then they'll come to you. Okay, so first they need to realize that they need help. They need professional help. Only then, okay, so we are very keen that they come to you, okay, because now you will have access to your verified data, and which you are able to access actually in real time. Because usually when the clients come, they give you the data which is 1 year old or 6 months old or something. But here through AA, as you speak with me, you'll be getting my all my information in real time. So in a way, I'm saying that the RIAs have a very, very important role to play, and we do hope with the account aggregator you'll be able to offer actually more informed actually services to your clients.
So my last question to you, any advice for advisors like us to take part in the account aggregator next phase? What do you suggest?
No, the sooner you actually implement it, Okay, it's only from RIA, the ones who use it a lot, we will know what the real problems. See, like while we work with, all the licensees, the banks, NBFCs, but the ones who experience it day in, day out, about where the gaps are, what are the new data types we need, is only from you. And you will know about it only if you implement it, even in a
Start
very
using
small.
it.
Have it implemented. Okay, initially you may feel it is not smooth, but it will become better and better. It's not that, it has improved a lot. And we want to hear from all of you from in the RIAs or ARIA. So jointly, like if you say that here are the gaps, okay, which it has to be filled. Okay, like after we hear from you, then from there we will actually go to the regulators, etc., and help
So
it out.
that was my biggest learning while I was interacting with you for this session, that you are also dependent on the feedback on the use cases, what we are going to bring
Exactly,
in for the investors.
because very clearly you are the experts.
Correct.
It's not us. So we have to hear from you.
Correct. So I think mutually we'll look forward to a
Exactly, definitely.
scenario where
So jointly
Account
we can
Aggregator is going to be.
so build a stronger India,
Yes.
which is more financially sound.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.